Welcome, everybody. It's good to see everybody tonight.
Hello, everyone.
Excited
Welcome
to
in.
be here. Good to see you. How has your week gone, William?
Pretty good.
Has it?
Yeah,
We've,
it's,
we've,
it's it's been a good week so far.
well, good, good,
How
good.
about
We're,
y'all?
of course, looking forward to Thanksgiving, and we'll get into that. Let me go ahead and say hi to everybody in the chat. Keith, welcome in. BDF, thanks for being here. We appreciate you. Mandy Adams, hello. Good to see you. Oh, you had to skip the People Mover last Friday night. Mandy, that's a shame. You'll have to catch it later. You'll have to catch it later. Amy at AJC Magic TV, welcome in. Tina, DCS, by all means, everybody, hit that like button and share out the stream, if you would. We've got a lot to talk about tonight, and so we'd appreciate it if you'd give us a like and share out the stream. Jonathan Chung, welcome in. Good to see you. I know that everybody is looking forward to Thanksgiving. We certainly are. It was my mom's favorite holiday, and it's one of my favorites too. Tennessee Bear and the little old key of G coming in here. Let's see, Jonathan, Kevin, Theme Park Adventure, welcome in, welcome in. Good to see you. It's nice to see everybody tonight, and we appreciate you so much for popping in to spend a little bit of time with us. You know how we look forward to Tuesday nights, and so yeah, we've got a lot going on, a lot in the news. Maybe some of the biggest Disney news probably of the year, other than the 50th anniversary. But yeah, so we're gonna jump into that, guys. We are one day from Thanksgiving. Thursday is Thanksgiving. Jeff just took our turkey out of the freezer and put it over into the refrigerator, and so I'll start cooking tomorrow. So we spent 3 days in the kitchen for Thanksgiving. So we're really looking forward to it. Oh, you had your okay, yeah. Okay, thanks so much. I appreciate that. Thanks for sharing us out.
Thanks, Keith.
We appreciate that. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, let me do this day in Disney history, and then I guess we'll jump in, William, to the news.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we got some. Wow. There was an earth-shattering kaboom in the Disney community this week. Let me get to this day in Disney history right quick, and we always like to share a little bit of Disney history. We love it, and it's just something that's kind of fun to go over. 1962, Thanksgiving Day, a helium-filled Donald Duck balloon returns to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade on this rainy day in New York City. Heavy rains during the parade caused the rim of Donald Duck's hat to fill with water and dump 50 gallons on a few unlucky parade watchers. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. And we have actually been to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. So
we have.
Yeah, sometimes we need to drag out those pictures and show those. It was wonderful. It's my sister's best ideas ever. So, 1963, Walt Disney and a group of associates fly over the coast of Florida aboard a Beechwood Queen Air, which is a small twin propeller aircraft. And Walt and his entourage of top executives are at the end of a tour of the eastern United States in search of an ideal location for a new theme park. The aerial view confirms Walt's doubts about building a theme park by the ocean. They fly inland over Orlando, circling the forest and swamps for the very first time. And from the air, they can see Good Road, the network below, which includes I-4, Florida's Turnpike, and McCoy Air Force Base, soon to be Orlando International Airport, or MCO. Walt has a good feeling about this site. And so this is followed with a stop in New Orleans to refuel for the trip back to Burbank. And it's during the stop in New Orleans that they learn of U.S. President Kennedy's assassination in Texas just hours before. Wow, that's amazing. On the somber flight back home, Walt announces that out of all the stops, Central Florida appears to be the best choice for that new theme park that we know, of course, would become Walt Disney World. So really interesting, convergence of history there as, President Kennedy was also assassinated on this day in 1963. Disneyland would close the following day in honor of President Kennedy, who visited the park as a senator in 1959. So, yeah. 1963, C.S. Lewis, the author of the Chronicles of Narnia, passed away 1 week before his 65th birthday. The 2005 film adaptation of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, distributed by Walt Disney Pictures, was based on his first installment in the Narnia series, and it's one of my favorites. C.S. Lewis is definitely a favorite author of mine. And if you're looking for good movies to watch for Thanksgiving, The Chronicles of Narnia is, that series is a good choice. 1989, the Swan Hotel, located on Walt Disney World property but operated by Westin Hotels, opens at 1200 Epcot Resorts Boulevard, and of course, it's still a favorite. I have never stayed at the Swan, but I would absolutely love to. I know that it's really a favorite with guests, and it's a good option because even though it's not technically a Disney hotel, it's an Epcot. It's like in the Epcot area close there, so its location is fantastic, and you get a lot of the perks that you would if you were staying at an official Disney hotel. So buses, extra magic hours, that kind of thing. 1991, the 30th Disney animated feature film Beauty and the Beast, featuring the voices of Robbie Benson as the Beast and Paige O'Hara as Belle, is generally released to theaters in the U.S. and Canada. That was in 1991, William. So that's cool.
Welcome in My Backyard Science. Welcome in Movie Randy and Nick and Mike Wheeler, Dean the Turkey Lexter. Thanks for being here, y'all.
Dean, thanks so much.
Just a few names I've seen join recently.
Appreciate it. 1992, Disney legend and character actor Sterling Holloway. Oh my goodness, don't we all love Sterling Holloway? The first voice of Winnie the Pooh passed away in Los Angeles, California at age 87. Making his Hollywood debut in 1926, Holloway's first role for Disney was until 1941 Dumbo, voicing the messenger stork who delivers baby Dumbo to Mrs. Jumbo and then sings Happy Birthday. His voice can also be heard in such Disney classics as Bambi, The Three Caballeros, The Aristocats, The Jungle Book, and Alice in Wonderland. Oh my, what a precious, precious man. And another, along with Jim Cummings, another early, voice from our childhood. Yeah. And mine too, William. So yeah. And then 1994, the last one, Disney World's All-Star Music Resort opened at 1801 West Buena Vista Drive. It is the second phase of what will be 4 themed All-Star resorts. The All-Star Music is located on the southern portion of the Disney World property, and it's divided into 5 areas: Calypso, Jazz Inn, Rock Inn, Country Fair, and Broadway. So Calypso was the first to open on this day, and that happened in 1994. So some pretty good, pretty good Disney history there happening today.
Yeah, I always forget which all the All-Stars. I always forget which ones I've stayed in over the years because we made a few trips when I was in high school, and so I on a couple of those we stayed at a couple of the All-Star resorts, and so I'll always forget which ones we've stayed at. I know for a fact Jillian and I stayed at All Star Sports in 2016 in October on that trip. And so, I always forget. I feel like, I don't know. I don't know if I've stayed in both music and movies. I can't remember. I want to say I have.
I think you've stayed in music and movies.
Okay.
Have you ever done sports?
Yes, I just said that.
You did sports. Okay.
That was the 2016 trip that Jillian and I took in October.
Okay. I think you have. I mean, yeah. That makes sense to me. That rings a bell. I have just stayed of the All Star resorts. I've just done sports.
Okay.
We did sports that year that we were there. And really enjoyed it. And now, the All Stars have been refurbhed, and they're very nice. They're they're very nice.
Jillian said Jillian works for Mickey Travels, and she had a client stay at one of the suites. I think at All Star Sports.
And there's suites at All Star Sports. I didn't realize that. Okay.
And so I think I want to say it was a mom and her kid, maybe two moms, a mom and her kid, and then another mom and her kid. They kind of went together. I want to say,
good to see you.
And said, the room was very, very spacious, very, and in the pictures that she had sent to Jillian, the pictures were very comparable to Pop Century in terms of style.
Okay.
So,
but it's cheaper to stay there.
Yeah. So
easier on your budget.
So anyway, that's could potentially down the road at some point be an option for us.
Oh, Movie Mania Nick, welcome in. Thanks so much for being here. Well, it would be, the obviously the advantage to Pop Century is the Skyliner.
Oh yeah.
That would be an advantage there. But okay, well, I tell you what, if you do you have the slideshow ready to go?
Yeah, let me go ahead and share it real quick.
Okay. Guys, we are going to jump into this. Obviously, if you've been under a rock, that would be the only way that you have not heard about the big Disney news. Bob Chapek, Chief Executive Officer of Walt Disney World and the Disney Company, is out. He stepped down this week, and that was announced on Sunday. Bob Iger, who was Chapek's predecessor, has been named. He will be stepping back in for at least 2 years to take over the reins again. And wow, that is big.
Yes, it is.
This is huge, guys. We have made it. If you pay attention to Disney at all, you probably know that Disney fans as a whole were not at all pleased with Bob Chapek as CEO. And but a few months ago, just a few short months ago, Disney had renewed his contract for a further 3 years, much to the disappointment of Disney fans. So it is huge. It's huge, Tim. Bob Chapek, the number one problem that I saw with Bob Chapek is that he came through the financial part of the company rather than parks and experiences or something like that. And I think that he really didn't understand the Disney magic. All he understood was the financial part of it, and he just did a lot of things that Disney fans were not happy with. We were not at all happy with him for a number of reasons. So Stacy, good Bob and able Bob. Well, he was, I mean, he was Tina. He was came through the financial part of it, and a lot of people even then, when he took over from or was named Disney CEO, just before the blip happened. A lot of people were cheering, were really rooting for Josh tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, and Chapek actually was put in. I was aware of Chapek, but I didn't realize until he was actually installed as CEO that he was even in the running. So, um, if you keep up with that kind of thing, William, what did you think about Chapek? I know we've talked about it a lot, on the channel, but what do you think about all this?
Oh, well, where start?
Stacy?
We you've had a running conspiracy theory for quite some time now, which,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, only seems to have basically almost been proven true.
Mm-hmm.
And granted, we haven't seen, we don't know what's coming next in terms of, what kind of announcements we may get. Um, you know, this in my mind, they're looking to right the ship. Um, and so, they gave, they and then we've got the statement here in the slide here in a second, but they're looking to right the ship again. I think that, in my mind, the aspect of Disney's operations that has suffered the most, and yeah, I mean the pandemic is partially
Mm-hmm.
partially at
That
blame
was a factor. Yeah.
as well. But in my mind, the people aspect has been what
Mm-hmm.
has suffered the most. Over Chapek's tenure, in that they've been trying to bring new people in and retain them. They've had a
Mm-hmm.
personnel issue.
Mm-hmm.
And I just I can remember uh, that first trip that we took with Wyatt. Um, you know, Getting on the phone and sitting on hold for guest services, for over an hour and 45 minutes, just to say that we needed some more towels.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's unreal.
It's inexcusable
Yeah.
for Disney.
And
The
so,
guest experience has suffered greatly under
yeah.
Chapek's leadership. It really has.
And so, I mean, it's tough because um, there are so many different areas of
Hey,
the
Danielle, welcome in.
The Walt Disney Company's operations. I mean, you think ESPN, you think ABC, you think Disneyland, Disney World, all the parks involved there, all the
Mm-hmm.
international parks. They own a large portion of Hulu as well. Um, and
Oh no,
so,
I didn't even know that. I
uh-huh.
didn't know
And
that.
so,
Yeah.
there's you can Google a chart of all the stuff that Disney has, either
Mm-hmm.
ownership of or has some stake in. And so it's just insane whenever you think about how many branches off of this company there are. You think about Imagineering. In addition to, you think about all Marvel, you think about Lucasfilm, you think about Fox now. um, and so, anyway, I mean, it's unreal.
Mm-hmm.
The
Oh
size
yeah,
of this company, and then
that's true.
and the number of areas of their operations. And so,
Mm-hmm. Well,
I
the scope is
yeah.
really amazing. A lot of people don't realize,
Hmm.
the how big the Disney company actually is
Uh-huh.
beyond parks.
And so it's and Pixar as well. And so, yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
there's so many different branches off of the Walt Disney World company.
Mm-hmm.
I think that with the pandemic happening and everything like that, also, it's been very strange times. They're on stranger tides, if you will, and they're
True.
trying to come out of that. And it seems like their MO ever since Chapek has had stepped into leadership was it, and I mean, it was just price increase after price increase after price
Mm-hmm.
increase, and people,
Well, and while at the same time uh, taking services away, taking perks away, not just the price increases, but
yeah,
the removal of a lot of perks that guests were
yes,
used to as well. So it's kind of a double whammy there.
yeah,
Absolutely.
and so that's welcome in.
Shelley,
Great to
thanks
see
for
you,
being
Shelly. Thanks
here.
for being here. Let's see here. Oh, sorry to hear that, Shelly. We'll keep you and your family in our prayers. And so
Oh,
it's very interesting
Shelley.
because obviously, many of us here, if you're watching this stream tonight, there's a good chance that you're a Disney super fan, if you will. You probably follow multiple, you follow multiple YouTube channels that talk Disney or Disney related or stream the parks. That it's you probably follow multiple pages on social media as well. Walt Disney World News Today, Disney Food Blog, several of these news channels. There's a good chance you probably, if you're watching this tonight, there's a good chance you probably follow several of those.
Right.
And so you have this emotional attachment and to Disney, and so
Very true.
you are much more well informed than the average person, and it's not even close. And so I think coming out of the pandemic, there have been a lot of people saying, hey, let's go do something. Hey, let's go to Disney. And many of them are, and I have a friend, Daryl, and his family went. I don't think he'd ever been to Disney actually. And he's in his late 30s. And so anyway, they went, and he, I did the best I could to give him a kind of a rundown of, do as much of a brain dump for him as I could to give him awareness of what all they need to do. And so,
which
in order to make sure
a lot.
Yeah.
It's
and especially now,
folks.
especially now, my goodness, with the app's essential. You pretty much
not optional anymore.
Unless you live locally and you're an AP, there's no way that you can get out of having to use your app, use the Disney World app for a day at Disney. And so anyway, all that to say, just kind of the MO for Chapek has just been, okay, it seems like they've, up to this point, from a parks perspective, they've essentially been saying, hey, we don't, we have a staffing issue. We can't do the staff. And so, therefore there are all these services that we're not going to offer, and they haven't come out and made a statement to say that, but apparently based off of how things have happened over time, that seems like what we've been stuck with is, things are different after the pandemic. It started off, and we were just glad they were open again. Well,
yes.
People were just glad Disney World was open again,
right.
After the pandemic, and then much later Disneyland came along too, and
right.
so and so I think a lot of people, coming out of the pandemic, they wanted to make a big family trip of some sort, and they said, all right, let's go to Disney World. And so those people who are not frequent goers, frequent people that follow Disney news closely, don't know, all of what to expect from a Disney vacation. They don't know all the things that used to come along with staying on property.
Exactly.
All the things like being able to send your merchandise up to the front of the park. Being able to have your merchandise sent to your room. Luggage service. The Magical Express.
Yeah.
There are all these things that that have either gone away, or B, that we just haven't heard anything about them. Then there seems to be nothing on the horizon, nothing out of D23 for plans to bring it back. And so there's people that, don't have anything to compare it to, so they don't know any different. But for those of us that do, it's still frustrating. And so, on top of that, for them to say, okay, hey, we're open again, and we haven't brought back all of the amenities that we had previously, all the perks that came with coming into the parks. We hadn't been able to do all that. And so, we haven't brought it back yet. And also, too, we're going to raise our prices as well.
So much. Oh, Kevin Sparrow, welcome in. Yeah, we're happy. We're absolutely happy to see him back as well. So, so many things. Now, granted, you had, he was appointed CEO when Iger retired, and it was just before the pandemic. So, the pandemic notwithstanding, guys, and Disney, especially the parks, I'm talking about the parks specifically, to say that, yes, there have been challenges that, that this man has faced, as the Chapek has faced as CEO, that were unprecedented, what have you. But, we kind of moved past that, and it was pretty obvious that they were still kind of using the pandemic as an excuse for diminishing goods and services, raising prices. And it was really, Disney fans were not buying it. It was like, okay, you can't blame this on the pandemic anymore. It's obvious that this is just a money grab. And on top of that, Bob Chapek is not a personable man.
Yeah.
Now, other corporations can get away with this. There are a lot of huge corporations where people don't even know who the CEO of the corporation is.
Yeah.
Because it's not really necessary for him, or her to be out front and to be in the public eye. That's not so with Disney. With Disney, the CEO has always been out in the forefront. He's always been, approachable by fans, personable, what have you. And that goes along with, with the Disney magic, the Disney approach, Walt's approach, to, we're not customers, we were guests. We're guests to Disney. And so that business model has been something that Disney has carried on all these years. And Bob Chapek simply, for whatever reasons, he came up through, again, the financials. He wasn't really from the creative side, and he's just not very personable. He's not good with people. He's not good. He's not a good orator. Stuck his foot in his mouth a lot. So he just, for so many reasons, he was not well liked at all. He has not been well liked with Disney fans. And it has been said
they would have been better off not saying anything at all.
Yes.
Than saying the things that they've said.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes these corporations think, well, something happens and they immediately jump out there and think, oh, we've got to put out a statement. No, you don't. You don't have to put out a statement. You shouldn't put out a statement. You should just, do what you do and be a company, and, stay out of, the things that are going on in social media or politics or whatever. Go to that next slide. Let's talk specifically about Sunday. Sunday, guys, was when this was announced. Disney made the announcement. Bob Iger actually, the first thing that happened, and this again goes straight to Iger's approach, sent an email directly to cast members announcing his return. It said, "Dear fellow employees and cast members, it is with incredible sense of gratitude, humility, and I must admit a bit of amazement that I write to you this evening with the news that I am returning to the Walt Disney Company as Chief Executive Officer." Um, it's kind of a brief, email there.
Mm-hmm.
I won't read the whole thing, but the last paragraph, you'll be hearing more from me and your leaders tomorrow and the weeks ahead. In the meantime, allow me to express my deep gratitude for all that you do. Disney holds a special place in the hearts of people around the globe thanks to you and your dedication to this company and its mission to bring joy to people through great storytelling is an inspiration to me every single day. Bob Iger. Now, I didn't read the whole email, but you
Mm-hmm.
can look that up if you want to. Um, just the fact that he sent that email directly to cast members first,
Yeah.
before it was announced on social media, before it was announced to the press, he addressed the people who are most important and most integral to the company, and
Yep.
that's cast members. That's
Yep.
cast members. And so that I truly appreciated. And he talked immediately about how important the cast members are, about the spirit of the company,
Yeah.
what have you. So first right out of the box, Bob Iger is, um, is stepping back in, with his usual flair and his usual, he's a people person. I appreciate that about him. So,
Mm-hmm.
that's yeah. He just didn't reach out to cast members. He did not. Yeah. Okay. Thanks so much, Keith. We appreciate it. Yeah, Stacy. Let's see, Stacy. Nick Magical News Live was live streaming
Mm-hmm.
from Magic Kingdom when he got the email Sunday night. Nick is a cast member, and he was live streaming from Magic Kingdom when he got the email. So he announced it on his live stream, and then of course it quickly. I saw it and I thought, okay, it wasn't a major news outlet, so I'm going to check this, to be
Uh-huh.
sure that it's not a fluke or something. So, I mean, you get it from several reputable,
It was crazy how
news
fast the
sources.
information moved as well, because
It, yeah,
so
it, yeah,
so Jillian told me that someone else at Mickey Travels had texted her and said, "Hey, Bob
right,
Iger stepping back in." I said, "What?"
right,
I said
yeah,
no. Um,
right,
I said no, really, and that sent me to social media, and then I saw WDW News Today had
right,
posted it, and then
right,
you immediately, like the second I was pulling up that article, you had texted me and said, um,
right, Stacy.
and said, Bob Chapek's out, Bob Iger's back, basically is what you had said. And so I was like, I was just, what, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was just shocked.
The news traveled really fast. It
Mhm.
it it went across social media. It broke the internet, as we'll see here in a few minutes. Um, so there were things that again, this happened Sunday night, and it really, Elton John was live streaming his farewell concert from Dodger Stadium, was live streaming on Disney Plus,
Mm.
and everything was overshadowed by this announcement. Apparently, from what we're learning, Disney had been in talks with Iger since Friday. And apparently, they didn't notify Chapek until just before the announcement was made publicly on
Mm.
Sunday. So, at any rate, go to that next slide,
Yeah,
William.
if I'm excited about the change. I do. I, I hate that. I have has Disney made several poor decisions under Chapek's leadership? Absolutely, no question. Um, you know, but I do hate to see, somebody. I mean, basically, it's embarrassing, is what it is. If you're Bob Chapek, it's
Mm-hmm.
you could say it's not, but it's embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
To get the hook this early into your reign.
Right.
And so it's I hate it, because I don't want to see people not do well. Um, and so welcome to Julio. Um, it's just, I'm excited to have Bob Iger back. I just, I hate that, we even had to go through,
Right.
the Chapek days, because he
Yeah.
just,
He
the other
just,
thing
yeah.
too is, Bob Iger has always presented himself well to fans, been endeared by fans. Um, he's just he's been that proper mix of, financial and creative. And so and his book,
Oh, hey, Alex.
The Ride of a
Welcome in.
Lifetime. Welcome in.
Julio,
Um,
welcome in.
welcome in, Alex. Um, his book says as much, basically. Um, and talks a little bit about the challenges of,
Mm-hmm.
managing creative people versus, basically both sides of the fence, because you kind of have your more creative people and you have your, more analytical people. And so anyway, I just, in a way I feel bad for him.
Mm.
But at the
I
same
don't.
time, yeah,
I don't.
I, I just don't like to see people get embarrassed on a huge stage like this. And granted, they made the decisions they made during his tenure, and we've got I don't know if you want to talk about your conspiracy theory or not. Uh, you know,
Yeah, I don't mind talking about my
um,
conspiracy theory. I think I've said something about it maybe on the on the stream before.
uh,
I suspect now a couple of things here. On you
and
said that you kind of
this is what Tim is alluding to here.
right. This is kind of what, and we may have talked about it, Tim, or mentioned it, but from the get go, when we first realized that obviously Chapek is just not a good fit as CEO for Disney. He might be, as Tina said earlier, a good fit for a company,
Yeah,
but not Disney. Um, he 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 was. I don't feel bad for him necessarily. Here's what I think, guys. I think that with the pandemic, with the blip and all that happened, I think that the Disney board and Bob Chapek, again, who was a bean counter when he came in, and I don't mean that necessarily negatively. He just came up through the financials.
yeah,
I think the board said to him, "Okay, we want to raise prices, we want to cut services, we want to increase our bottom line, and we want you to start all this. We want you to do all of this, to introduce all of these changes, and to do all of this. And yes, you will be hated by Disney fans. You will be criticized. I don't think they realize the extent
how
to
heavily?
which he
Yeah,
would be, but we will
yeah,
compensate you for your trouble.
yeah,
We will compensate you generously, and we want you to be the face of these changes. And
yeah,
with the warning, hey, you're not going to be a popular CEO.
yeah,
And I think that's what happened.
yeah,
And he agreed to do it. Now, whether or not there was anything said, you step in and make the changes and then you can step out. I don't know if it went that far,
yeah,
but I fully believe that they had these changes in mind
yeah,
and they discussed them with him. I don't think that I know that Bob Iger, it has been said that he did not approve of a lot of them.
yeah,
Um, you know, but anyway, that's what I think.
yeah,
I think that this was kind of planned from the get go,
yeah. That
and
he was going to be the fall guy.
he was going to be kind of the fall guy, and I don't necessarily feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
I, I think.
in a way, I don't. I don't feel bad for him because I guarantee he got the golden parachute of a lifetime.
Well,
In that
it's the
they had
whole
just
Scrooge
re-upped.
McDuck swimming in his vault thing,
Uh-huh.
in piles of money is what
Yeah.
I pick. He can drown his sorrows in his
Surrounded by
piles,
enormous
piles.
piles of money
Oh, right, exactly.
on an island that I own, unmolested and alone,
That's right.
surrounded by enormous piles of money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's living Flynn's dream right now. He's
Uh-huh. Have a good night, Tim. Thanks for being here. Happy Thanksgiving to you and
he
yours as well.
is absolutely living
Yeah.
Flynn's dream. Thanks so much.
So yeah, I hate to see anybody get embarrassed, on such a grand stage also.
Right.
But I mean, it is what it is. And so anyway,
Thanks,
it is what it is. I'm excited that Iger's back. I think it's worth noting that some of these things that we didn't like were kind of in the works previously, prior to the transition and leadership. Genie, the Disney Genie, wasn't, I don't think whenever it was originally pitched, it was Disney Genie Plus. I think it was Disney Genie, which was, pitched as being a tool to help you, plan your day at Disney.
Right.
I don't think that, and I have to go back and watch the announcement video, but I don't recall it. I don't recall that it was, basically going to be what we ended up getting.
Right.
Welcome in, Elena. Great to see you. Aloha, Elena.
And I think, hey, Elena, I think that they kind of used the pandemic as a, to slot all this in. But yeah. I really think that pandemic or no, that Bob Chapek would have made some of these changes because A, he doesn't understand the company like Iger does.
Yeah.
And B, he's a guy, he's a money counter. He's a financial guy. And so he's going to look at this like the head of a regular company, not Disney, and approach it much differently than former CEOs. So pandemic or no, Bob Chapek was going to make some of these changes regardless because that's just who he is. That's just the background that he came from. That's just who he is. The pandemic, came and they were able to use that as kind of excuse for a lot of it. But pandemic or no, this is just who he is. This is just where he comes from. And hey, Monorail Molly.
Welcome in, Monorail Molly. Thanks for being here.
And so, I mean, I think it was just who he is. Bottom line, he was just not a good fit for Disney. He just wasn't. So
now what's going to be interesting to see is, now what? We've had the leadership transition. They said at D23 this past year, or just a few months ago, we're listening to our fans. Josh Diamaro said something along those lines.
Slide, William.
That we're listening to our fans.
Right.
Let's see. Did you already finish this here? That's
the Walt Disney Company. This is the statement on the change of CEO, and I'll read it and then go to the second page of it. The Walt Disney Company announced today that Robert Iger is returning to lead Disney as Chief Executive Officer effective immediately. This was the statement that was put out on Sunday. Mr. Iger, who spent more than 4 decades at the company, including 15 years as its CEO, has agreed to serve as Disney's CEO for 2 years with a mandate from the board to set the strategic direction for renewed growth and to work closely with the board in developing a successor to lead the company at the completion of his term. Mr. Iger succeeds Bob Chapek, who has stepped down from his position. We thank Bob Chapek for his service to Disney over his long career, including navigating the company through the unprecedented changes of the pandemic, said Susan Arnold, chairman of the board. The board has concluded that as Disney embarks on an increasingly complex period of industry transformation, Bob Iger is uniquely situated to lead the company through this pivotal period. Mr. Iger has the deep respect of Disney's senior leadership team, most of whom he worked closely with until his departure as executive chairman 11 months ago, and he is greatly admired by Disney employees worldwide, all of which will allow for a seamless transition of leadership, said Susan Arnold. Now, that last sentence might have been a stretch.
Yeah.
I think that last sentence that he's greatly admired by Disney employees was a real stretch. But okay, Susan, that's that. Yeah, we realize you're trying to smooth this thing over.
Yeah.
But at any rate, I don't think that, because the board had to sign on to all of these changes.
Yeah.
The board bears obviously the ultimate responsibility in that they had to sign on to all the changes. I don't think they understood the how shall I put it, the depth of failing and of fans, of Disney fans. I don't think they understood how this was really going to cause such an uproar among Disney fans and be so ridiculously unpopular, and that Bob Chapek would. I don't think they expected quite as much vitriol as I mean, they knew he would be criticized, obviously, and that they would be criticized, but they were willing to do it. And so, then at the quarterly report, that's kind of what I was getting to, guys. The quarterly report came out a couple of weeks ago, and that's really kind of the nail in the coffin. The Disney stock had fallen. I own stock. A lot of people own stock in Disney. The stock had really fallen off, and that was so. Chapek was taking a lot of criticism from the financial talking heads, business channels, and what have you, saying that he was really just doing so much damage to the brand, the company overall, and that happened right on the heels of that dismal quarterly report with the stocks falling tremendously and what have you. And then on Monday, after this announcement that Iger was to step back in and Chapek was out, Disney stock soared back over $100 per share, not surprisingly. And in pre-market trading, shares were up 8.5% over Friday's closing. So, it immediately helped the financial picture. And Adventures by D, thanks. The stock drop got their attention to act. I fully agree. Everything that had happened prior to that was one thing, but then Dave, when that stock continued to drop like a rock, they said, "Oh, okay, we're going to have to stop the bleeding." Aloha, Musketeers, Dave Stragan. Welcome. So that definitely, that definitely had a lot to do with it. And so, again, he's been greatly compensated. Chapek's been compensated.
Yeah.
And I think now that Iger really wanted to retire, guys. Bob Iger is 71, I think, 70 years old. He was in retirement. He wanted to retire. And So now that he's come out of retirement, I can't imagine somebody as savvy as Bob Iger not saying, okay, if I come out of retirement, A, it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
And B, you're going to have to give me a pretty good amount of rain here to right this ship.
Yeah.
So, because really, he kind of had the board over a barrel there. If you want me to come out of retirement, you're going to have to give me some rain to do what I know how to do, or else you wouldn't be asking me. So, I just imagine that to be the case. So, we're glad to have it back.
I think case in point,
I agree, Stacy.
Pull up and read the tweet that I sent you, that first tweet that I sent you from Tom K. Morris. Tom Morris, legendary Imagineer.
Right.
Did not mince words in his thoughts about Chapek and this news coming out.
He did not. Let's see, where is he? And now for the happy news, and he shares.
This is a tweet from Tom K. Morris.
Yeah,
legendary Disney Imagineer.
Let's see, let me back up. Let me go all the way back. We looked at several. Let's see. I don't cry about why I'm not at WDI anymore because I did feel it was time to leave. But that guy never even took 30 seconds to stop in and introduce himself, let alone learn my history or what I had accomplished, something all the other park leaders and CEOs had made it a point to do. So,
not good.
Not good. Let's see what else we've got here.
And then somebody replied to him. Somebody had a little more to say.
It pains me. A Nick Kuserzen, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, says it pains me to know all of the great WDI leaders we lost partially due to this guy. Breaks my heart. It really felt like the soul of Walt Disney Imagineering was being ripped out. And I'm an outsider. I can't even begin to fathom what it was like from the inside. Now this was another real problem, guys.
Yeah.
With a lot of Chapek's changes that we really need to emphasize. Walt Disney Imagineering, all of those guys who had been with the company for years, had worked on all of this, all of the parks, the movies, were so pivotal and so critical to, gave their hearts to Walt Disney Imagineering. A lot of them quit.
Yeah.
They quit. They were forced out. They didn't want to make the move from California to Florida when they moved Walt Disney Imagineering to Florida. So that really also hurt them. You had people who understood the heart of this company who were forced out or quit or whatever. And then you had a lot of younger people who really didn't get it, that moved into some positions of leadership and made some changes that were not popular at all with the heart of, of Disney fans. So, so you're right, William, that's pretty Tom Morris's tweet there. And I should have made a slide on that one. Tom Morris's tweet there is pretty pivotal and says a lot, says a lot as to, and I'm sure that he speaks for a lot of other Walt Disney Imagineers who felt the same way.
And I haven't even gone through. Yeah, I haven't even gone through and looked at some of the other ones that I follow to see.
Well,
I guarantee
Disney has lost that talent.
Yeah,
Disney has lost that talent to other corporations. It's gone. So who knows? Whether Iger may approach them and try to woo them back. It would not surprise me.
Yeah,
if that was the case. Dave. Let's see. It's Yeah.
Let me know when you want me to go to the next slide.
Okay, let's see. Where are we? But yeah, that is huge. Walt Disney Imagineering. It wasn't just the problems in the parks. It was just within the company as a whole that they were just losing a lot of ground. Yeah, go to that next. Now the memes, guys. Of course, the next few days were absolutely hilarious. Elena Aloha. I think I said hello to you, dear Aloha. But yeah, so there was the Taylor Swift dust up. I don't even know all the details. I don't follow Taylor Swift, but I know there was a problem with her concert tickets of some
sales
kind.
through Ticketmaster. Yeah.
And so
the meme has a picture of Taylor Swift on one side, says, "I broke the internet with my ticket sales this week," and has an arrow pointing to Taylor, and then there's an arrow pointing to Bob Chapek with the text that says, "Hold my Mickey bar." And so, obviously, that was the next, big headline,
big thing, yeah. And so there were some really. This was shared by Jennifer at Mickey Travels. I thought it was really cute. Hold my Mickey bar, and of course this one.
I hadn't seen this one. Oh no! Oh goodness! Yeah, that's rough.
This was the other piece to the puzzle, guys, and I think may have been the final nail in the coffin for Bob Chapek. On the heels of this quarterly report, he announced that that there were going to be layoffs and and budget cuts. And so somebody made this meme when you announce layoffs, but didn't notice that your name was on the list. So yeah, now kind of on to, moving right along, guys. We know that Bob Iger has stepped in for at least 2 years, and part of his task, he really has, pretty Herculean tasks ahead of him. Not the least of which is to find his successor. And two people who kind of float to the top as being on the list are these two folks. Possible successors. There are senior executives at Disney who could be groomed into CEO material, including Dana Walden is the lady on the right. She's chairman of Disney General Entertainment Content. And the other, of course, is Josh D'Amaro, who is more familiar to most of us, I guess. He is chairman of Disney Parks Experiences and Products. Now, a person who is close to the board said that they don't feel like either of them is quite ready to take over the reins, but it's my guess that one of them will be groomed specifically to do just that. I think it's going to be one of these two people. I like both of them. Josh D'Amaro, it is probably my favorite, but I can't say that for sure because I really don't know Dana Walden that well. I would have to, to familiarize myself more with Dana, but both of them, I hope that both of them really.
As long as it's not Disney. Christine McCarthy. I don't, I just like you said, I don't know, I know more about Josh D'Amaro than I do Dana Walden, but yeah, we'll see. Time will tell. Josh D'Amaro has always been a fan favorite, and this next picture, is a good reason why. Right. I mean, it's that physical presence. It's that Walt-esque. Being the old what's his name? The old management tenet of manage by walking around.
Yes. Walt did it. Walt did that. That's how he managed his parks.
Being involved, seeing your guests, talking to your guests, talking to your cast members,
right.
Walking around and seeing what's really going on out there. I mean, you can sit in an office and look at numbers and stuff till you're blue in the face. But
right.
unless you get out there and you see people and talk to people and interact, you don't really actually know what's going on. So anyway, that's the you and Kylie met Josh during your trip during the pandemic.
Again,
let me
go back to that picture for just a second.
That picture.
This is Kylie, my granddaughter, and me. Most of y'all know Kylie. We ran into this is in Hollywood Studios in 2020, and Josh D'Amaro. Anytime I see a suit in the parks, I pay attention because it's generally a Disney exec. We actually got behind Mr. D'Amaro as we were walking through the parks, and I knew immediately who he was just from seeing his back, because the manicured hair, the salt and pepper gray hair, physique. He's an incredibly handsome man, and so we just kind of fell in line, and he kind of pulled over to the side there and was talking with a cast member in front of alien swirling saucers. And I waited, kind of watched him talk. He turned around. You can see his name tag there. It says Josh. I knew who he was. And so as he stepped away, I approached him. And, we were still, as you can see, we're all still wearing masks. So I did not extend my hand. But I said, Mr. D'Amaro, I introduced myself. I said, this is my granddaughter, Kylie. This is her very first trip to Walt Disney World, and he immediately engaged her. He said, "Oh my goodness, young lady," he said, "I'm welcome. Welcome to Walt Disney World. What has been your favorite park? What has been your favorite ride? We hope you'll come back for many years to come and enjoy the parks." He was so personable, and I really appreciated him for focusing on her. And she talked with him and grinned. Of course, Kylie had no idea, who he was. But this is typical of Josh D'Amaro. And so I say about him and Bob Iger, he gets Disney. He gets Disney, guys. Disney is not your run-of-the-mill corporation, which is why Bob Chapek did not fit in, unfortunately, as CEO. So, I understand, and I understand what you're saying, Tina. I think that, that during the pandemic and what have you, I think Josh D'Amaro was just trying to stay. I think he was, he had to realize, obviously, the internal struggle and the problems that were being caused. I think he was kind of just trying to survive the thing. I really do. So we'll see. It was so nice.
Ed's got a good note. That's been Ed's experience as well. He said, Josh and Jeff, let us know which Jeff you're referring to there, Ed, are the only execs that I've seen in the parks.
Oh, probably president of Walt Disney World.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff, I'm trying to think of his last name.
I wanted to say Vale, but I don't think that's right.
It is right.
Is it right?
It is
okay.
Right. Yeah, I think that is right. Yeah. So many people. I mean, a lot of people have met Josh in the parks and Jeff as well, Ed. Exactly.
Well, yeah, all the ride openings, I've heard of several people say,
all of them.
Here's a picture of me and Josh D'Amaro riding, Cosmic Rewind or whatever.
Right. Oh my gosh, really? I think so, Stacy. I think he was just, trying to keep his head above water. Josh D'Amaro has to be happy about this change in leadership. He has to be, because he's just not the type person to see all of this chaos being caused within the company, and not because he has a heart for Disney. He really does. Yeah, I think survival. I agree, Alex. I think survival is the name of the game during Chapek's regime. It was for fans, you know.
Yeah.
It was for us for sure. I agree 100%, Alex. But anyway, that's that. Yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at there. And it was a pleasure, obviously, for us to meet Josh tomorrow. So
Mm-hmm.
we've got, they're exciting times ahead, guys.
Yeah.
I'm like you, William. I hate that we went through this. But I just think that when the board put Chapek in, they just made a mistake. He was not a fit for Disney. He just was not. So boards of directors, Dave says, always love to put accountants at the helm. It fails nearly every place it happens. Being counters should not run companies. Visionaries should run companies. Well, I tend to agree with you there, Dave. I tend to agree with you.
And along those lines, this is
Mm-hmm.
be our guest
Mm-hmm.
from the Disney Institute with Theodore and Kenny. And so the very the introduction says this.
Thanks,
and this is at the introduction of this book. It says, Walt Disney harnessed the talents of his cast members, Disney speak for employees, and inspired their hearts with his vision to create unparalleled entertainment experiences. He understood innately that the long-term success of his company depended on his ability to motivate people one day and one innovation at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I feel like that.
Mm-hmm.
There
are so many quotes from that book, that you could pull, as well as Bob Iger's The Ride of a Lifetime, his autobiography. And I'm making myself, I've got to get that book. If you're interested, guys, especially now
I can let you borrow it.
That he's I'd love that. Could bring it with you. The Ride of a Lifetime is a biography, or probably autobiography, by Bob Iger, that you may be interested in reading. It details his career at Disney. It talks about the philosophy of the Walt Disney World Company. And understand, guys, Disney's business model and philosophy is something that other corporations strive to model because of the success of the company. Other theme parks, Universal in particular, other theme parks have striven to model the success of the Disney theme parks. Disney sets the standard, guys. Disney doesn't follow. That's another part of the puzzle that had everybody so upset, including us. Disney doesn't follow. Disney doesn't treat its guests and cast members as employees and customers. Disney sets the standard. They are the bar for everybody else, and Disney set that standard for itself. And so we're merely trying to hold them to it. With all this, but definitely. We'll see. I'll tell you, this time around, they know they have to get it right, Mike. Mike said, Josh, being in charge of parks and resorts would be a better outcome. Less budget cuts than if he was CEO. For someone to be CEO, they would want somebody familiar with all aspects of the company, not just one side. Josh only knows parks. Well, but
I was going to say, Iger came out of ABC.
He did. He did. And I don't know about Eisner. I don't know about Iger's predecessor, Michael Eisner. I'm not sure what piece, but that he came from. The thing about it is, Mike, you want your CEO, I think, to understand the company overall. The CEO can always hire people, financial people underneath him, to to deal with all that. But for the CEO, for it to be the opposite, like it was with Chapek, we see what happened. When the CEO is just a bean counter and doesn't have the heart of the company in mind, you get what we just went through, which was kind of a nightmare. So somebody like Josh, who may not be as familiar, I mean, he has to be if he's in charge of the parks and experiences. He has to do, he has to do some numbers, but that they can. And there's not going to be anybody that is familiar intimately with every aspect of the Disney company. It's just too large. So you have a CEO who is a good leader, who gets it, who understands the company, like Iger, like Tomorrow, and then they hire good people underneath them who in turn know the details. So that's So, but you got to have that good leadership.
In the prologue of Bob Iger's book, The Ride of a Lifetime, the 10 principles that strike him in terms of leadership are optimism, courage, focus, decisiveness, curiosity, fairness, thoughtfulness, authenticity, the relentless pursuit of perfection, and integrity are his, and from the prologue of his book, The Ride of a Lifetime, are the 10 principles that strike him as being essential for effective leadership.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So many, again, the Disney model, so many corporations have tried as close as they could to recreate that magic.
Yeah.
So because the Disney company has been so successful, and Walt's ideas, guys, Walt's ideas for his company way back then. Walt did not lead his company like as most businesses did. His approach to his company was totally different than the the thinking of the day. And it still is. So Eisner, Eisner did a lot of good things. I mean, each CEO has contributed some good stuff. Eisner also did some things that I did not like at all. Like, you're not going to like everything that a leader does, but but Chapek has, he just, bless his heart, as we say in the South. The man he just wasn't a good fit, guys. He just wasn't. So, at any rate, let's kind of move on, William.
All right.
And I think that's it
for the slideshow.
For the slideshow, and we'll move on and talk about just a couple more things we talked about. I think we've covered it. Now, okay, so let's just shift gears here just a little bit and quickly. We don't want to be here all night, but
have a good night, Alex. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Okay. If there was one thing, Alex, just before you go, if you have time, if there was one thing that you would like to see Iger change, what is it? If you could have one, maybe two things, guys, think about it in the chat. What's the number one thing that has kind of disturbed you about the direction that Disney has gone, and what would be the one thing, or however many things you wanna say, comment on there, that you would like to see come back, or that you would like to see Iger improve on. He's got a pretty Herculean task. Wally, that's the first thing I thought about. Right? Oh my goodness, right? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Give us our annual passes back. And Stacy, that's the second thing I thought of. Okay, I literally have those two things basically at the top of my list in my notes. Um, do away with the park reservation system and start selling annual passes. I also have, I made just a little list here, make guests a priority again.
Yeah.
Bring back that Disney, magic. Treat cast members with more consideration and improve morale among cast members. I want to see them return more creative control to Imagineers. I want the Imagineers to be kind of put back in the driver's seat so they can do what they do. And just overall, guys, what I'm thinking is absolutely, Ed. What I'm thinking is um, just overall to restore the magic, restore people's confidence in the company, and get rid of Genie Plus. Kevin says get rid of Genie Plus. Movie Maniacs is get rid of Lightning Lane.
Yeah.
Or maybe rework it somehow. Gosh, yeah.
I mean, you could do it. I mean, you could do it just like the Max Pass at Disneyland previously, in that you paid the $15. You got your you could do as many fast passes as you want to, and then B, you got your pictures for the day.
Yes.
And so
yes.
we
did a live stream. Of course, we mentioned, but we did a live stream all that. William had made a list of everything we could think of that had gone away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are.
And so I mean, if you feel like you have to do, if you have to do that, at least maximize what people are getting. And for them to paywall these things behind the individual Lightning Lane is also frustrating. To say,
right,
you want to ride Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind? Well, hey, you're gonna have to get a virtual boarding group for that.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to ride it more than once? Oh, that's too bad.
Right.
You have to pay. You have to pay an individual Lightning Lane just to ride it. And so it's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It does not create a positive guest experience. It does not ensure a positive guest experience, as they've said that the park reservation system does. So here's a couple of excerpts real quick from The Ride of a Lifetime by Bob Iger. So just to help give you an idea of the type of person that he is. So this is from page 20. It says, there's a related lesson, though, that I only came to fully appreciate years later when I was in a real position of leadership. It's so simple you might think that it doesn't warrant mentioning, but it's surprisingly rare. Be decent to people. Treat everyone with fairness and empathy. That doesn't mean you lower your expectations or convey the message that mistakes don't matter. It means that you create an environment where people know you'll hear them out, that you're emotionally consistent and fair-minded, and that they'll be given second chances for honest mistakes. If they don't open up to their mistakes, or if they blame someone else, or if the mistake is the result of some unethical behavior, that's a different story and something that should not be tolerated. And then also here, it says, I learned from them that genuine decency and professional competitiveness weren't mutually exclusive. In fact, true integrity, a sense of knowing who you are and being guided by your own clear sense of right and wrong, is kind of a secret weapon. They trusted their own instincts. They treated people with respect. And over time, when the company came to represent the values they live by, talking about Tom and Dan, he worked with at ABC Sports, I believe. And so, sorry, let's see here. And then I want to read one more here. Let's see. Here, it says they're also talking about Tom and Dan, these two men that he worked with. It says their business strategy was fairly simple. They're highly vigilant.
Imagine. Welcome in.
About controlling costs, and they believed in a decentralized corporate structure, meaning They didn't think every key decision should be made by the two of them or by a small group of strategists in corporate headquarters. They hired people who were smart and decent and hardworking. They put those people in positions of big responsibility, and they gave them the support and autonomy they needed to do the job. They were also tremendously generous with their time and always accessible. Because of this, executives working for them always had a clear sense of what their priorities were, and their focus enabled all of us to be focused too. So, just a few quick excerpts there out of The Ride of a Lifetime by Bob Iger.
If you're interested in that, you can find it on Amazon, or go to your public library and see if they have it. At your public library. There. Excuse me. SoCal Imagine, if Anaheim doesn't want more Disney, build at the Queen Mary site. One of the original plans for Westcott, California Adventure, prices will continue to be out of control until capacity meets demand. Pardon me, just 1 second, guys.
Another excerpt here from page 36, chapter 3. It says, entitled, know what you don't know and trust in what you do. It says your inexperience can't be an excuse for failure. So what do you do in a situation like that? The first rule is not to fake anything. You have to be humble, and you can't pretend to be someone you're not or to know something you don't. You're also in a position of leadership, though, so you can't let humility prevent you from leading. It's a fine line, and it's something I preach today. You have to ask the questions you need to ask, admit without apology what you don't understand, and do the work to learn what you need to learn as quickly as you can. There's nothing less confidence inspiring than a person faking a knowledge they don't possess. True authority and true leadership come from knowing who you are and not pretending to be anything else. So,
good stuff. Good stuff, guys. There you go.
Mr. Iger.
Yeah. Well, he's back at the helm, and we're excited. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about there, or let's move on to Thanksgiving? And then I have a couple of things to show you. New things. I've got the new Disney 23 magazine over here.
Okay. No, I think that's all I've got in regards to the I think news there.
Okay. Well, just to kind of wrap that up. Happy Thanksgiving, Alex. Appreciate you. We are excited about this change. I am through. I'll just be honest with you. Sunday night, I had laid down for just a second and was about to. I'm reading Star Wars books right now, and my phone just started blowing up. It was like, what in the world is going on? And I checked, Hitchhiker chat, and Stacy had jumped in there. And you also sent me a text, Stacy, which I really appreciate you guys letting us know. But I thought this is just fantastic. It's like this with the news. It was like this weight, was lifted, off our shoulders, as Disney fans. So I am really excited about it. I think that Iger has a huge task ahead of him, but I think he's up to it. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. I think we need to be patient with him. I think we need to, extend him some grace and, give him a chance to right this ship, because he is more than capable of doing it. I have great confidence in his ability to get us back on the right track. So, yeah, definitely. So, yeah, we appreciate it. Post articles or mentions lamenting Bob Chapek's departure. Well, exactly. I have not. Yeah. That's just, yeah. I mean, it's just bad to be Bob Chapek. What can I tell you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just.
Aside from getting us a ton of money.
Yeah.
in a severance package.
Yeah. Right. Surrounded by enormous piles of money. He's good. He's fine, y'all. He'll be fine. It'll be fun. Anyway, let's moving along. Just quickly, guys. Thanksgiving is coming up. Last week, if you weren't here for Hitchhiker Chat last week, by all means, go back and watch that from last week. Thanks to Dean the Turkey Legster for pinch hitting for William.
Yes, thank you,
last week. And I was in the kitchen. I did some baking, and I did my mom's probably favorite recipe, or at least one of her top 5 favorites. Love Pugs.
Love Pugs. Thanks for being here.
Pumpkin cookies. I baked the recipe for pumpkin cookies, and I also did a crock pot pumpkin spice latte. That is really a neat recipe, for coffee drinkers, especially this time of year. We love our pumpkin spice stuff. And then I also made a turkey, an apple turkey that my mom was a kindergarten teacher of young children for over 30 years. And she made these every year as just, decorations for her classroom and also for the house. So I did all of that last week on Hitchhiker Chat. So check that out. And all of the recipes that I used are in the description of that video if you want to. They're good. If you like pumpkin, I guarantee you'll love these, Danielle, these pumpkin cookies. So, picturing Bob. Exactly. Right, Dave. Bob sitting in Jack Sparrow's chair at the end of Pirates. With all the exactly, definitely. So Thanksgiving is coming up. Is everybody ready? Do you have plans with your family? What's going on? I look forward. I really look forward to Thanksgiving. Family gatherings, family recipes and the cooking and. Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. I just have tons of as most of us do. Thanksgiving is uniquely American, guys. It's a uniquely American holiday. It's a day when our country, pauses to give thanks to God Almighty for our amazing, incredible blessings and for, our country and just for blessing us and providing so much for us. We have so much to be thankful for in this country, and we take the time as a nation still to thank Him for that. So, William, do you have any favorite Thanksgiving memories or customs, or what are some of your favorite things about Thanksgiving?
Just time with family. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade's always been a staple. Obviously, watching football, spending time with family. Eating good too, obviously too.
Very traditional.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Stacy, they used to do the Macy's parade a lot differently than they do it now. I prefer the old way that they did it. I think now they used to have, commentators. I saw a picture of, who was it? Betty White and Lauren Green. Now, we're calling the parade, both of whom I love. And I think it was like in the 70s or 80s, early 80s. And they just, and so you got to see all of it. And they told you about each float. They told you about each band, each group in the parade. And you got to watch the whole thing. And now it's kind of about, stopping the floats, and you've got people singing, and you've got, I don't know. It's not as enjoyable to me.
There's a lot of junk in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade within the last few years, and I'm concerned.
Thanks, Nick.
Speaking of full transparency, there are times I'm concerned about why it might end up seeing while watching the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and so I wish that they would get back to being fully family friendly, because you have to know. I mean, there's parents with their kids, and the parents are trying to make preparations or clean the house or whatever. So there's a good chance the kids are watching the parade. And so I wish that they would ensure that whatever content is being put forth is fully family friendly.
Because it is a Thanksgiving Day parade after all.
Yeah, and so
let's remember what we're doing here, folks.
And so that's my gripe for them. But and we're talking about the TV version, Nick. So that's if they need to clean that up. But let's see here. Anything else you wanted to mention?
I can't think of anything, guys. Let me just quickly. Let me show you my. This is the new D23 magazine. We're D23 members, and Avatar 2 is on the cover of D23. And
very cool.
So pretty cool. This is the quarterly magazine that comes with D23 membership. And it's pretty cool. We know that Avatar is coming pretty quick. When is Avatar coming? When does it come out?
I wanted to say December 16th. Maybe sticks out in my mind. Could be wrong.
So pretty quick. Yeah, pretty quick. So looking forward to that. And D23 magazines, guys, are just gorgeous. They are beautifully done, and they're so nice that I almost hate to.
Yes, it is December 16th.
Yeah,
Avatar: The Way of Water.
To mess with them and they're just so beautifully done. So I'm looking forward to reading this. Going through this one and reading it. It's just they're always just really beautiful. Have articles in them, and so that's what's on the cover this week. And I did some ordering, guys. Yes, I did on Shop Disney. I showed you this. We showed you this a couple of weeks ago. It's the new Christmas spirit jersey.
Nice, very nice.
I love the colors in this, guys. I absolutely love the colors, and so I went ahead and ordered it. Yeah, and it says Happy Holidays on the back. And then that beautiful print there. But I love the colors. I love the aquas and the reds here. I have, a lot of Christmas ears that'll match this. And I just absolutely loved it. So I went ahead and ordered that spirit jersey. And I also got this. This is an ornament. This was all from Shop Disney. They had some really good sales. This is a Disneyland ornament. And it has 1955 there on one ear. You can see that. And then has Sleeping Beauty Castle on the other.
Nice. That's really pretty.
It's just real sparkly. That's a really pretty one. I thought my grandchildren would really enjoy that. And then this one is just kind of different. I absolutely loved it. It's a snow globe, guys, but it's Marvel.
Well, that's fun.
It is so fun. It has Thanos, if you can say that. I don't know if you can say that or not. Has Thanos as a snowman in the middle. And then there's Iron Man. Let's see, there's Iron Man, Captain America, and Black Panther are all in the snow globe. So it's really cute. It's class. So this is just really, I just thought that was really fun. And I don't have a whole lot of Marvel. I think that's it. Ornaments. So I went ahead and I ordered those. But just a couple things I absolutely love. This is the print. This aqua and red. Disney does kind of a Christmas print that that shows up on a lot of their merch throughout their merchandise, mugs, pins, clothes, anything you can name. And that's it for this year. The colors are a little bit different, and I absolutely loved it. So I went ahead and ordered that spirit jersey. Y'all know how much I love spirit jerseys.
And you got the Disney. Did you get the Disney World one, or which one did you get? Because there were 3 different versions. They had Disneyland, Disney World, and then they had a Mickey one.
Of the Spirit jersey?
Yeah.
Oh, well, mine just has Mickey on the front, and then
Okay,
it
so you
says
got the Mickey one.
yes, and it says Happy
Okay.
Holidays on the
Yeah.
back.
So there was one. There were 3.
Yeah.
They had the same design, but the crest, the logo on the front, and the one on the text on the back was different depending on which one you got.
Right. So this one, and I didn't actually notice the differences. This may have been the only one they had. I don't believe that you love Spirit jerseys.
Her
Mike,
closet says differently.
Yeah, I'm picturing your voice saying that just dripping with sarcasm. Yeah. Stacy, if you have not seen the first Avatar, you need to get on it, girl, and watch it so that you'll know what's going on.
Yep.
Let's see.
Gonna do the Hitchhiker highlight real quick of the week.
Yeah, we'll do Hitchhiker highlight and move this thing along. Just as and this is one, guys, that I enjoy. This is something, if you're looking for something, a good movie just to watch for Thanksgiving, I recommend The Sound of Music, especially if you've never seen that movie. It stars Julie Andrews and Christopher Plummer and Eleanor Parker. It is a classic from 1965. It is rated G, and it's 2 hours and 52 minutes. So you can fill, an afternoon. If the guys are watching football, you don't want to watch football. It is almost a 3-hour movie, but it's really special. It's such a classic. It's a beautiful movie to watch on Thanksgiving. So I'll pull that one out. Sound of Music with Julie Andrews. Special Disney legend and wonderful, wonderful actress, singer, lady. We all love Julie Andrews, and it's on Disney Plus. So check that out. Also, we just let's see, Stacy. Oh my goodness. Okay, Stacy, that's your assignment. If you've never seen The Sound of Music, that is your assignment to watch it, because it's absolutely incredible. You'll love it. You know how wonderful Julie Andrews is. So most definitely watch it. Okay. William, did you want to do channel news, or you want me to keep
Sure.
going?
So while my dad and mom here were in Orlando in October, they got to ride Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind in Epcot. And so she posted a vlog of that. They got to ride it twice. Got conga, and then got one way or another on their other ride through. So
yeah,
got some video of the queue. So if there's if you're not wanting any spoilers of the ride, you might probably want to steer away from this vlog. But
yeah, because it's full ride POV and full queue. So
so and so if you hadn't seen that already, check that out. Yes, Stacy says the Sound of Music is on Disney Plus. Let's see. Also, last week, as Mom mentioned earlier in the show, she the stream from last week. She made her favorite family recipe, my grandmother's pumpkin cookies, and then also made the pumpkin spice latte in a crock pot, right? And then made the little apple turkey with toothpicks and raisins and apples.
Yeah, so, cute stuff.
Neat little thing.
Yeah. And guys, on Guardians, that day that Jeff and I were at Epcot, we joined some very special friends. Mike Wheeler, who is in the chat, was there with us and also wrote it for the first time. And then Russ, What in the World with Russ, was with us that day too. We had a fantastic day. Thanks, Mike, for coming and making that day so special for us, and also to Russ. We had a blast. So that was our first time to ride it and Mike's first time to ride it. Russ was the only one who was a veteran rider that day. He's ridden it several times. So it's a fun vlog. Check it out. And yeah, definitely.
So other channel announcements, check out our partner channel, Monarch Moments. Let's see. They go live Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Garrett, Hannah, and Gabe and Michelle. Lots of fun. Great channel. Check them out. Check out, lots of wonderful channels represented in the chat. Check out the other channels here. Lots of great people represented in the chat here. Check out baaa-ack.com. It's basically a TV guide listing for family-friendly live streams and content. Check out Dreamers Empire and the live place on YouTube as well. Big shout out to Dean for maintaining the liveplace.com. Check out TubeBuddy if you hadn't already. If you're a YouTube creator looking to grow your channel, check out TubeBuddy. They track viewing trends, suggested keywords, show titles and tags, and channel data that helps you grow your channel. Basic version's free. The paid version, if you have under 1,000 subs, is discounted. If you want to check out TubeBuddy, use our link below. We both get a free month. Also, Stickermule. If you're looking for good quality, low-cost buttons, stickers, magnets, pins, so on and so forth, use our Stickermule link below, and we both get a $10 credit for a future order. So if you're looking for any of that, check out Stickermule. Big shout out to everybody hanging out with us here tonight in the chat. Those watching in ghost mode and those also on Team Replay. Big shout out to Lisa, Keith, and Joey. Thanks for y'all's support as well. But thanks to everybody. Whether you're here for 5 minutes or you're here for the whole hour and 41 minutes or so at this point. We appreciate you hanging out with us and love chatting Disney news. Big shout out to Aunt Susan and Aunt Joy, Jillian, Kylie, and other family members, BDF, Mandy Adams, AJC Magic TV, Jonathan Chung, Tennessee Bear, Tina DCS, Kevin Theme Park Adventure, Stacy Rogers, Dean the Turkey Lexter, Mike Wheeler, Move Mania Nick, My Backyard Science, Kathy Hollister, Mickey's Girls, Shelly Starwalker, Kevin Sparrow, Brian's West Coast Disney Adventure, Julio, Alex Kennett, Elena K808, Monorail Molly, Adventures by D, Dave Stragan, Texas Takes, SoCal Imagine, and Love Pugs. Thanks, everybody, for being here. We really appreciate you hanging out with us. Lots of fun. Stacy says the Monarch Moments are live from DCA. So
my goodness, I didn't realize that.
I didn't realize that either.
Okay.
We're bad partner channels. If you want to, Stacy or Mikey, go ahead and drop the link.
Yeah, drop the link, guys, and head over to Monarch Moments. We'll be heading over there.
Let them know that we sent you. They're a lot of fun. When the Monarchs go to the parks, they marathon stream. So
they do.
You're in for a treat. Anyway, thanks to everybody for your support.
Yeah, somebody grab that link if you would and put it in so everybody can head over there. But that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. They're at Disney California Adventure. Monarch Moments are West Coasters. They're our partner channel. So by all means, check out their streaming. We're going to be heading over there.
Live from World of Color. So thanks, Mikey, for dropping the link there.
Okay.
Scroll up in the chat, click that link, and go check out Monarch Moments. Let them know we sent you. Drop some ghosts in their chat.
Yeah, most definitely. Thanks, Stacy. We appreciate that. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We hope that you have a happy and safe and very blessed Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
And we look forward to that. And may God bless us, everyone, as Tiny Tim said.
Yeah.
And also continue to bless our great country as we serve him and try to do what's right, to be lights in our community, to help one another, and to just be, as Bob Iger said, be decent to people.
Yeah.
Be decent to people. So, okay, guys, thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, we go live every Tuesday night, 9 o'clock p.m. Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. Be sure to join us live. Hang out with us in the chat or watch us on the replay. Let us know. Leave a comment if you're watching on the replay. like, subscribe, ring the bell so you know when to go live. Check us out on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you want to reach out to us, send us a direct message on Instagram or email us at thehitchhikingbones@gmail.com. Thanks. Exciting times ahead for the Walt Disney Company.
Yes.
Very interested to see, hopefully we get a good, passing of the torch, looking ahead of Iger to his successor. Hopefully, hopefully they'll lead the company in a positive direction, not only, from a financial perspective, but from a fan and guest perspective, and from a cast member perspective. We want everybody, it's not, it's not a situation where, one side wins out, and everybody else loses. It needs to be, if they're producing a superior product, they're doing storytelling through the rides, through their media.
Right.
If they're producing a fine, superior product like they have in years past, the money will come.
Absolutely.
Whether it be in the parks, whether it be, in the cinema, whether it be on TV, so on and so forth, with all their areas of business. But anyway, exciting times for the Walt Disney Company.
Absolutely.
Excited to see, what changes we get from Bob Iger in the coming days. And hopefully the company goes in a direction, kind of,
direction,
kind of a course reset, a course correct, if you will.
Sure.
But again, hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving. Hope you're blessed. Hope you're safe on, traveling, if for those of you that are traveling. And yeah, hope you're able to spend time with family or friends. Give somebody a call that you hadn't talked to in a little bit. Let them know you love them. Especially, if you got your parents or, siblings, close friends, reach out, let people know you love them. And obviously thankful for all the blessings that we enjoy. Absolutely. It's a great time to reflect on what we have and be grateful for the blessings that, that God's given us. So, anything else you want to mention, Mom?
I think that's it. At the Hitchhiking Bones YouTube channel, there is always room for one more. So please hurry back.
Bye,
Thanks
everybody.
So much, guys. Appreciate our mods.
Yes,
Thanks so much.
You.
Love you guys.
Yeah.
And happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Have a great week, everybody.